The Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget estimating that the Biden administration has approved nearly $5 trillion in new borrowing. But the White House is still taking a victory lap, claiming that it's actually lowered the federal deficit.
So why doesn't he lean more on some of that language than continuing to repeat this "we reduce the deficit" thing that feels like sort of irrelevant?
No, the reduce the deficit is real. $1.4 trillion. That's what he talked about just last week, and that is historic as well. In 1 year, that's what the president has been able to do.
Joining me right now is former acting White House Chief of Staff and former Director of the U.S. Office of Management and Budget, Mick Mulvaney. Mick, great to see you. Thanks very much for being here. What's your reaction to all of that?
Oh, I have to smile, Maria. By the way, it's good to see you, and hello from London. Listen, I don't think anybody believes it. I think it undermines the credibility of the office when they get up and say things like this. It's sort of along the same lines of what they said a couple months back when inflation was zero, because it had been the same rate from 1 month to another. I honestly don't think it moves the needle. I think anybody who believes this or buys what they're selling doesn't care about the budget anyway and would believe anything that Joe Biden says. It's not going to speak to people who actually care about the budget. Everybody who pays attention to the budget knows, yes, it has gone down year over year, but it's done that because of the emergency spending that we spent over the last couple of years for COVID. That's it. Everybody knows that who follows the budget. So it really does undermine the Biden administration credibility when they try and make these cases that no one in their right mind really believes.
Well, especially since they're actually adding to the deficit. Here's Maya McGinnis from the Committee for a Responsible Budget. 100% of the deficit reduction was a result of the shrinking or expiring COVID relief. And while roughly 22% of the gross improvements come from changes in economic projections, more than offset by the cost of student loan debt cancellation, those economic changes will actually increase future deficits by over $1.5 trillion between 2023 and 2032. So it's actually the opposite of what they're saying.
Yeah, and what's happening, and I think Maya goes into this a little bit later in what they're putting out. They're putting out some really good information and drawing attention to the interest payments. That's the immediate impact of all of this. By the way, we're borrowing this money. We have no plan to ever pay it back, but we absolutely have to pay back the interest on an annual basis. And so you're talking now about an interest payment that even under the Biden team's assumptions will be larger than defense by the end of this decade. There's a chance interest payments could be larger than defense next year. So this is really very real. It's a different version of economic crowding out. We're already borrowing money to pay the interest payments. And when the interest payments go up because our debt goes up, we'll borrow more money to pay back more interest, and the debt will go up again. So the Biden administration is not addressing it in any meaningful way. And again, anybody who follows the budget knows that.
Well, and you know, the Fed is the only game in town in terms of getting inflation down because they're still spending money like drunken sailors. But, you know, most people are not focused every day, your average guy out there, not focused every day on the deficit. What they are focused on is the fact that they've got to live paycheck to paycheck. A new report finds nearly 2/3 of employed Americans are now living paycheck to paycheck. It includes those people making more than $100,000 a year. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that surging rents are pushing more Americans to live with roommates, go back to live with their parents. So, Mick, when you get down to practical things in our lives that we're doing every day, people are hurting.
They really are, and we're not doing anything to help. The central bank raising the interest rates doesn't help make more stuff. I've said this before. I'll say it again until at least somebody starts to pay attention. Your show has actually done a really good job of bringing it to light. There's a supply side problem. We don't have enough goods and services. Yes, we have pumped a bunch of money into the system. Inflation is too much money chasing too few goods. The Democrats are never going to take money out of the system. So we could be helping people by making more stuff, pumping more gas, refining more oil, making more cars, making more of everything. But the Biden administration continues to undo the deregulatory agenda of the Trump administration. They're making it harder to bring goods and services to market. So it's a double whammy on the ordinary Americans. There's more money chasing fewer goods, and the Biden team is making it worse on both sides of that equation.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're talking about the need for more supply, more stuff to be made, and yet this administration is attacking the meat companies, the oil companies. Now the candy companies are greedy too. They're raising prices for candy, so it must be their fault. I digress. You're in London this morning and this week. Rishi Sunak Sunak becoming the new British Prime Minister. The Wall Street Journal writing this morning that he has called calmed down markets for now. Mick, give us your assessment of the new Prime Minister and the issue of growth in the UK.
Yeah, it's a very interesting question. I think that Wall Street Journal article is spot on in terms of the environment, the atmosphere. Things are calmer. Liz Truss did not have a lot of support in Parliament. She had a lot of support, by the way, with the grassroots conservative members, which is actually how they helped pick a prime minister here. But she didn't have any support inside the building. Mr. Sunak does. Things are a lot quieter this week, a lot calmer. He did have a really good session on Prime Minister's questions for the first time this morning, but he also announced that his preliminary budget will be delayed by 2.5 weeks, which is going to help things. They have an inflation problem here. They have a growth problem here. I was disappointed that the Truss initiatives making it easier to frack, making it easier to build houses, look like they're going to get pushed to the back burner. They have the same difficulties here. But the Conservatives are in charge, and they need to work on getting supply of goods and services up. It'll be curious to see if Sunak can deliver on this quick enough to make a difference.
Yeah, we're watching that for sure. Mick, it's great to see you. Safe home, safe travels. We'll see you soon. Mick Mulvaney this morning in London. Thank you, sir.